Here's the thing here. I've had a thought that fixes a lot of your problems. So, you're looking to put boots on the ground in Ukraine, specifically Kyiv. I thought, why don't you get all the people that had a Ukraine flag on their social media profile? Obviously, they had to take down their NHS one and their LGBTQ one to put up the Ukraine one. But those people, and the people who took in a Ukrainian into their homes like a little pet, just for Christmas. The people that are like, oh yeah, we've got one. Yeah, we've got a Ukrainian family. Yeah. We've got a Ukrainian family. Yeah, because we're a better kind of person. Yeah, it's just who we are. Maybe they should be the ones that put boots on the ground over in Ukraine, because they obviously care so deeply about the whole situation. And then you could just leave the rest of us mardy bastards alone.
In this video, Katie Hopkins mocks and criticizes Keir Starmer, the leader of the UK Labour Party, in a sharp and unapologetic manner. She ridicules those who have shown support for Ukraine through symbols on their social media, such as changing their profile picture to the Ukrainian flag. According to her, these people, though they temporarily express concern for the conflict in Ukraine, are merely making superficial gestures by changing their images without actually doing anything to help. She also mocks those who have taken Ukrainian families into their homes, calling it a pet gesture, something done temporarily for humanitarian reasons, but without a long-term commitment. Hopkins mocks these individuals by labeling them as better people, just because they performed a one-time act, but without truly engaging in the deeper issues of the war. She further criticizes them by suggesting that if they truly cared about Ukraine, they should be the ones putting boots on the ground over there rather than just showing support from a distance. Meanwhile, she calls those who don't participate in these actions merry bastards, not concerned with complex issues like Ukraine, and urges Keir Starmer to let people like them deal with their own problems. Through sharp and sarcastic remarks, Katie Hopkins not only criticizes the superficial support of those backing Ukraine, but also uses her stance to insult those with differing views, particularly Keir Starmer, whom she accuses of encouraging ineffective symbolic actions that don't bring real change.
Breaking news, not quite in batshit bonkers Britain, where Five Guys, the burger chain, has decided that it will pull sausages and bacon and alcohol in order to be halal compliant. This will only happen in majority Muslim areas, which include London, Birmingham, Bradford, Leicester, Luton, Dewsbury, Batley, Spurn, Newcastle, in fact most cities of the UK. Actually, only 2 of the Five Guys are Muslim, but they vote Labour, so they get a majority share, and also the other 3 Five Guys don't want to be called Islamophobic. In other news, Maddie McCann's parents have been stalked by a woman claiming to be their missing daughter, Maddie McCann. She's now been arrested and charged. But Maddie McCann's own father knows it can't possibly be Maddie because Maddie was murdered. Anyway, finally, Trump is going to accept a visit from Keir Starmer. Keir's going to be trying to stick his tongue up Trump's anus, but Trump isn't going to be having any of that. Firstly, because Keir Starmer is about as relevant right now as Betamax, and secondly, because Trump knows where Keir Starmer has been, and that is all the way up Brokeback Mountain with Lord Ali. That's it. Batshit bonkers Britain.
In this statement, Katie Hopkins asserts that despite being banned from all major media outlets, including GB News, her platform, Batshit Bonkers Britain Bib, is the most watched news source in the UK. She seems to take pride in the idea that her brand of content, often controversial and provocative, has gained a significant following, despite mainstream media's refusal to give her a platform. This reflects her tendency to portray herself as an outsider and a maverick who speaks the truth that others are too afraid or unwilling to voice. Hopkins is known for her inflammatory opinions and her ability to attract attention, particularly from people who feel alienated by the mainstream media. Her statement also suggests a kind of rebellion against traditional media, implying that the establishment is out of touch with the public and that her alternative platform offers the unfiltered, raw truth that the masses are hungry for. The phrase "batshit bonkers Britain" itself is a provocative title, designed to attract viewers by promising an unorthodox, potentially chaotic, and sensationalist take on current affairs, which Hopkins knows can be compelling to those who feel disillusioned by conventional news sources. This reflects her larger narrative of positioning herself as a voice of the ordinary people, speaking out against what she perceives as the liberal or politically correct bias of mainstream media. The claim of her channel's popularity can be seen as an attempt to validate her approach and her controversial opinions, as if to say, if they ban me, it's only because I'm too real for them, and the people are still listening. It's a defiant stance that plays into her brand as a disruptor of the status quo, feeding into the polarizing nature of her public persona.
The honourable member for Clacton says that his party is, and I quote, open to anything when it comes to changing our NHS and open to an insurance-based system.
So, if I can assure the honourable member for Rugby that Reform want healthcare to be free at the point of delivery. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker. There appears to be some panic on that side of the House. I'm not surprised. To ask the Prime Minister, I'd like some advice, please. What do I say? Oh, they really are panicking, aren't they?
Order! I want to get this question over with. All you're doing is ensuring it goes on forever. Quick question!
To ask the Prime Minister for some advice, what do I say to 25,000 constituents in Clacton, including... What do I say, Prime Minister, to 25,000 constituents in Clacton, including 99-year-old Jim O'Dwyer, who flew a full set of missions on Lancaster bombers as tail end Charlie, as they're losing their winter fuel allowance, feeling the pinch, whilst at the same time we're prepared to give away a military base and pay £18 billion for the privilege of doing so.
Mr. Speaker, he talks of panic. The only panic is people using the NHS who know that under his policy he wants to charge them for using the NHS. And what he should say to the people of Clacton when he finally finds Clacton is that they should vote Labour because we're stabilising the economy and boosting the Dems.
In this exchange, the discussion revolves around the future of the NHE's National Health Service and various political viewpoints on healthcare policy. John Slinger begins by quoting a member from Clacton who claims that his party is open to anything regarding changes to the NHEs, including the possibility of introducing an insurance-based system. Slinger reassures the audience that the aim of reform should be to ensure healthcare remains free at the point of delivery, a core principle of the NHE. The exchange then shifts to a lighter tone, with Slinger noticing panic on the opposing side of the House, which adds a bit of humor and tension to the debate. Slinger's mention of panic highlights the contentious nature of the healthcare debate. He seems to suggest that the opposition is struggling to cope with the weight of the argument about healthcare reform, alluding to potential concerns over what such reforms would mean for the general public, particularly the vulnerable. In a more formal setting, the Speaker of the House, Sir Lindsay Hoyle, calls for brevity as the debate appears to be dragging on, emphasizing the importance of staying focused on the matter at hand.